Hey, I'm Johnette Cruz, and this is Unfiltered Weekly, your weekly wrap-up on all things society, culture, and lifestyle news with trending stories and more. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and now also on Substack. Your gut's new BFF, Big Soda bets on prebiotics, but is it just hype? Social media's obsession with gut health has sparked a $2 million or billion dollar, I should say, feeding frenzy. And now Coke wants in, planning on facing off with Olipop and Poppy. While traditional soda sales start to fizzle, gut health is the new buzzword. Olipop just snagged a $1.85 billion valuation and Poppy rocked the Super Bowl. This $440 million category is booming, fueled by the millennial and Gen Zs, all thirst for healthier fizz. Simply Pop by Coke enters the ring with fruity flavors, no added sugar, and a punch of vitamin C and zinc. They're packing about 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, a direct shot at Poppy's 3, but still trailing Olipop's 9. But is it all the hype? While prebiotics promise gut magic, the science is still a little fuzzy, and Poppy's facing a lawsuit over its health claims. Coke knows all the risks, but they're betting on their big brand power, distribution muscle, and a century of soda dominance. Forget the old school body image battles. There's a new beast in town, Bigorexia. It's not about being too thin. It's the relentless muscle-warped delusion of never being big enough. But here's the kicker. It's not just a gym fad. It's a full-blown obsession, especially for young guys. About 55 to 80% of adolescent guys are consuming muscle-building dietary supplements, and they're not stopping there. They're stacking multiple products, which can lead to serious and long-term health issues. Bigorexia isn't a niche problem for bodybuilders anymore. Researchers stress that it affects a much broader population, calling for more regulated supplements, tightening misleading marketing, and promoting general awareness of possible long-term side effects. Hold on to your egos. Turns out narcissists aren't just the life of the party. They're also the ones secretly scanning the room for signs of rejection. A new study drops a bombshell. Those with sky-high self-absorptions are way more likely to feel excluded. So why? It's not just that people avoid them, although that is definitely a factor. They're masters at misinterpreting social clues, turning even the most innocent glance into a total personal snub. Think of it as a rejection radar on overdrive. So this is published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. This research digs into the grandiose narcissism, the kind that screams like, look at me, basically. Researchers discovered a surprising truth with this, that narcissists report feeling significantly more ostracized. But there is a plot twist to this. This is a total vicious cycle. Their behavior can push people away, and feeling rejected makes them even more narcissistic. It's a relationship roller coaster, basically from hell. The good news, this isn't a dead end. This study cracks the code, showing us how to actually break the cycle by understanding their hypersensitivity to perceived rejection. We can learn to communicate better and diffuse tension. Imagine this, less workplace drama, more harmonious friendships. Maybe, just maybe, understanding their secret loneliness is a key to unlocking better connections. Forget slow-mo. Australia's on a turbocharged collision course with Asia, and it's a geological spectacle you won't believe. We're talking continents slamming together, earthquakes erupting, and ecosystems getting a radical makeover. Australia is moving northward at about 2.8 inches every year, a seemingly tiny shift that's going to trigger seismic chaos on a planetary scale. So 80 million years ago, Australia ditched Antarctica. Now it's a runaway train heading straight for Asia, powered by the unstoppable force of plate tectonics. So what actually happens when all of this collides? Well, we're going to get earthquakes, landscapes will be reborn, and new ecosystems will either form or adapt. Australia's legendary wildlife like kangaroos and wombats will either evolve or go extinct. And here's the kicker. Even though we're millions of years away from all of this happening, Australia's drift is already messing with GPS, throwing off navigation systems and threatening to disrupt everything from self-driving cars to cutting-edge agriculture. It's the undeniable truth of a planet in constant motion. So hold on to your drumsticks, folks. KFC, the chicken empire built on Kentucky pride, is pulling up stakes and heading to Texas. That's right. The brand that literally has Kentucky in its name is ditching its roots. Yum Brands, the chicken's chain's parent company, claims it's all about sustainable growth and better serving customers. Translation, they're consolidating with Pizza Hut in Texas. The relocation plans are part of Yum Brands' larger execution to centralize their U.S. headquarters for their restaurant portfolio. Now, some key politicians in the state of Kentucky are slightly disappointed with the decision, and they have said that it feels as though it's a betrayal of the state's heritage. Now, KFC isn't completely abandoning Kentucky. They're keeping some of their offices and a building along with a flagship restaurant in the state. But let's be real, the heart of KFC is moving to Texas. And now you're caught up with the latest stories of this week's Unfiltered Weekly. Thanks so much for joining us. Make sure to subscribe to all of our podcasts. We're located on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and now also on Substack.